wake up and have air in your lungs, to be able to feel your 10 fingers and your 10 toes, why is that not the ultimate celebration of the day?
Mhm.
And that is that God energy. That is that gift that we are given each day without anything else, without finances, without validation. It's ours.
Mm. I just wanted to give that a moment to
Hmm.
resonate because you said a lot there, and it sounds like there's rituals and things that you can come to a peace and understanding about before you even get started in the day that helps carry you through the day.
Correct.
Is there anything you also spoke about how your motherhood journey really kind of drives you? What would you share with a woman or a man who's not yet a parent but is still looking for that inner motivation?
Hmm. Every person is a parent regardless of whether you've had a child or not.
Say more.
You've mentored to someone. There's someone younger than you that looks up to you just like a child would, that respects your words, your decisions, your efforts, and they are watching you, just like my children do. So, and then especially for the ladies, even though you haven't birthed children, doesn't mean that your children don't exist. And the cool thing about fitness is the better you are to your body, the better you are to your children. And they mimic you from before birth.
Hmm.
So if you are practicing a healthy lifestyle, you are going to birth a healthy human because they've been practicing with you your entire journey.
Absolutely. And that brings me to the mind body connection. Tell me about, your approach. What is the philosophy around that connection? Because it sounds like you're saying, what you consume, how you live, even as an individual in your mind influences all the cells in your body and you have to be conscious in your day to day decisions.
Very much so. In any good book, whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Quran, whether it's, I don't know everybody's philosophy, but they always say, as you think, so you shall be.
Mhm.
In some way, shape, or form, whatever you think, you will become. Teachers tell you all the time, if you say you can, you can. If you say you can't, you can't. It's your choice. And again, in the very first part of the Bible, what does it say? First, there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. But the first word was thought. So before we start to communicate, we think. When I stop speaking to you, I still hear what I'm saying
Mhm.
because it's a thought first.
Mhm.
So if I cannot first control my mind, which then controls my body, right, as above, so as below, a boxer will tell you wherever the head goes,
Mhm.
the body will follow. So we create this separation between church and state as if the mind is not a part of the body or in
Mhm.
control of the body. It's very interesting to me.
Mm. Well, I would love to dive deeper into that. Tell me about how your personal style, your personal taste has an influence on your fitness journey. Is there a signature style that drives you to motivate, or helps you figure out what type of workout or approach you want to take to fitness?
Hmm. I fell in love with strength training and HIIT, like those two. One, because once you start to study what the muscles do for the body, how they fight against what we consider the natural aspects of aging, your body is decaying from the moment that you are born.
Mm-hmm.
You're born to die. So it's how do you want to live? Do you want to live weak or do you want to live strong? And HIIT does all of those things. Um, I'm a thinker, but I don't like to overthink.
Mm-hmm.
So doing HIIT allows me to focus on my entire body each and every time quickly. So sometimes I got time.
Mm-hmm.
I got the 2 hours to be in there and do whatever. But most times my life is not allocated in such a way that I can spend that much time, which is what 8% of my day, on myself, just completely focused on nothing other than the growth and strengthening and stretching of my muscles.
Yeah.
So you've got to make it quick.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have these impactful bursts throughout the day, whether it's mental and speaking to yourself or um, physical and eating and listening to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really have to curate your life experience on purpose.
Okay, I like what you said about how HIT can be, bite-sized energy boost in many forms.
Mhm.
It sounds like being able to adapt to what the day is showing you and having something that you can rely on to kind of give you that jolt is really, really
Correct.
powerful. Tell me a little bit about your approach to nutrition and diet. What does
Mm.
that look like? Because, even with, exercising, a lot of us, we can come up with excuses. Oh, I don't have enough time. Oh, I have to drive so far away, or
Right.
this is not in the budget. What's your take?
So I always say I'm the lazy fat girl. Like I don't like any of this, honestly. Like my greatest triumph right now and the bane of my existence is meal prepping.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I love to hate it because if I don't do it, I will die. I will not have physically enough energy to do the things that I want to do in the course of 24 hours.
Mm.
However, how do you not have the excuse of it takes too much time? I don't know what I want to eat. You have to like figure out. You have to trick yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's got to be a game. It's got to be fun. So there are certain things that I always eat. I tell people, most of my clients, to look into eating by your blood type. One, if you don't know your blood type, then you have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first step to self-discovery. Ooh, what is this thing about me that I don't know?
Mm-hmm.
Now that I know this, now I'm going to learn an idea of what, based off of my blood, nothing else, that I could eat that may benefit me. Now, you can go to your doctor and verify. You can go to a nutritionist or a holistic specialist that can give you more information.
Mm-hmm.
But it really depends on how well you want to know yourself.
Mm.
And so with that information, once I learned, well, I knew my blood type was B positive, which I thought was low, right? B
How
positive.
fitting.
Exactly. But that blood type says a lot of fish, seafood, vegetables, and fruit.
Mm.
So when I found that out, I was like, oh, I'm already doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't for long because there's trash no matter what kind of dietary lifestyle you lead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy to say, oh, this is good without actually doing the research because somebody else said it was good.
Right.
Well, they said it's healthy. So, but did you check if it's healthy for you?
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So again, it's just loving yourself enough to do the research to be like, okay, what works for me
Mm-hmm.
in every shape and form? And I always tell people, take the time. You're worth it.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about making it playful and enjoyable because some people, like myself, have to make it a game. You have to challenge yourself to something. So
Exactly.
finding ways to, incorporate new things while, working with, the familiar things as well.
Correct. Because
Definitely
nobody
makes it,
likes change.
yeah, it's more manageable that way. I think you can be a lot more consistent.
Exactly. And that's when it's fun, you're gonna want to do it. And we learn this from kids. Kids learn through play. And my 7-year-old will tell you adults are terrible because they stop playing.
Mm.
They forget to have fun, and that's why they're no longer fun.
So how do you incorporate fun into your wellness routine, your workout routine? Because this isn't just about the gym. Like, what role does fun play in your life, maintaining good health and fitness?
That's a great question. So everything has to be fun. Um, Getting up in the morning is fun, but we often like to rush or scroll and waste time.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thing is to slow down. I'm awake. Now I'm already excited. I praise God for the fact that I woke up, the fact that my family woke up. Like that means that we have hope.
Mm-hmm.
That means that we are here for something. We haven't died yet. Yay! And then it's like, okay, now that we won the day because we're here.
Truly. Mm-hmm.
We won the day. Now everything else is light work. So now I think about the things that I need to do. I need to eat. I need to exercise. Okay, I gotta eat. How can I make it a game? I gotta go to work by such and such time.
Mm-hmm.
So now I gotta pick what I'm gonna eat, put it in the air fryer, pack my lunch, get my bags ready, put the bags in the car, winter time, warm up the car.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to be, can I do it in under 20?
Right. Right. Race against the clock is one of my favorite games.
Oh, see, you have names. I just be out here doing things. I race against the clock.
Yeah, I do it in many ways. Sometimes it's like GPS. Like, okay, this
Mm.
is saying I'm going to get there at this time. I'm still going to be safe, but
Correct. Challenge
I'm gonna.
accepted.
I think I can do a little bit better, right? So, um, that that's great. I love it. I love it. How do you strike a balance though between that spontaneity, that playful energy, and the discipline that's required to have longevity in your
Hmm.
wellness?
Think about the discipline that it takes to be playful all the time. Like that's the balance. I want to be playful all the time. Life is too short to be serious. So everything has to be a game to an
Mhm.
extent. Uh, the job that I choose has to be a game. It has to be one beneficial for the finances, but then two for my mental health, for my physical health. Like I will no longer take a job that I'm sitting 90% of the day because at this age, that's a death sentence.
Mhm.
Then I have to think if that's the job that I choose, I have to think about how do I rework my life to include and incorporate more things to do against that thing.
Mhm.
I don't want to think like that. That's too
Mhm.
much. I would rather have a job that allows me the freedom of movement, the
Mhm.
freedom to be like, you know what, I want to do that. It's a nice sunny day, and I don't want to. And nobody's gonna get mad at me because that makes perfect sense.
Right.
Like, okay, it's a sunny day. I would want to be out too. You don't necessarily have to be here. If you're not gonna miss you in a day,
Mhm.
the things you have to do will be making that come.
Yeah, I think so much of the health and wellness journey is just acknowledging that we're actually human beings and we're not robots and we can't behave as though we don't have needs that serve us and actually help us show up in other relationships better too.
Correct.
You're a better employee, you're a better mom, you're a better sister friend. Any name, or role that you play in your life
Correct.
when you prioritize yourself.
That part.
And that doesn't have to take away from other people.
It actually gets to other people.
Right.
It's very weird that we feel like if I don't do for you, if I'm doing for me that I can't do for you, when it's the entire opposite. If I don't do for me, I can't do for you.
Mm. What are some playful kind of challenges that you're undertaking right now to start of the new year? How are you feeling? What are you looking forward to?
Oh my goodness. So I finally gotten into my yoga search. I've been looking for many, many moons on something that really fits.
Mhm.
However, yoga it's a deep dive into yourself further. Like if strength training teaches you how you can overcome, yoga teaches how you can stand. Right.
We might need to repeat that.
And that's the hardest part. Like people will always ask me, how do you
Wow.
let go? And I'm like, it's the easiest and hardest thing you can do.
Mm.
Grab a ball and drop it. That's letting go. Don't be attached to whatever's going to happen once it leaves your hand because it's no longer a part of you. But because, and what happens in those situations is this thing got me here. I've been sharing it with me so long. It got me to this place. However, if you're a track star, right, and you've ever run the baton race,
Mm-hmm.
you and the person behind you can't hold the baton and keep running together.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to let go
Mm-hmm.
in order for the race to keep going. So at some point, you've got to give blessings to that
Mm-hmm.
person that got you to this place that will allow you to go further. Whether it's a teacher, whether it's a friend, whether it's a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it doesn't not necessarily work out. It's just the season has changed.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that you came to learn or teach is now taught.
Mm-hmm.
I like to relate it to Mary Poppins. You know,
Okay.
I've done the thing. I've taught you how to do it. You
Mm-hmm.
understand it fully. Now it is on you. I can't
Do
teach
it
it.
for you.
Correct.
Yeah.
I've taught you all that I can teach you.
Mm.
Now it's you to implement and practice. And if you don't, personal choice.
Absolutely. And I think, the journey is one that is deeply personal and sometimes isolating, but
Mm.
it's also, an opportunity to build community. So I would love to hear about, what your impact looks like in the community. What does Fit Goddess Tribe show up and want to do?
Man, so Masego is a phenomenal artist from Virginia, and he has a song called "A Vision," where he says in the first couple lines, "I have a vision, a room full of women, and all of them are driven." And I was like, "Yes, yes, yes." I have that same vision. Maybe the end result is different, but the power of women is so underrated because we do it in ways that you can't. They're not seen to the naked.
Mm.
You can't see how powerful my thoughts are. You only see the actions. You don't see the preparation. You don't see the hours that I'm up studying and researching and looking for these things to make it look effortless. That's something that attention to detail, that discipline, that drive is something that men show in a different way, more physical, normally. So it's easier to be like, okay, he built a house. He blood, sweat, and tears. He went to the store. He picked up the wood. He cut the wood. Cool. But while he was doing that, I thought about his favorite food. I thought about the fact that it was cold this morning and he needed something hot. I thought about the fact that he could get sick, so I gave him immunity. I thought about all these other things and prepared it so that he could have a good day because he didn't have to think about those things. And that thought has always been under that. Like, there was a time where sports athletes in school got higher scholarships than academics. But it's the thinkers that actually put forth and make places for those that do.
Well, where can we find you? What can we look forward to this year? Are there any events? Where can we find you on social? What's the best way to stay connected to the Fit Goddess and become a part of the tribe?
Ooh, so this year is all about collaboration. As you know, we've got my newest host for one, maybe two of our podcasts that we've been running. Because as the thinker, I have to position myself to use my most powerful and impactful tool, which is my brain. I have to have the time to think and not do so much. So I'm so glad that you're joining the tribe.
Happy to be here.
That's right. And then even in this phenomenal state that we're in, right? Another young lady, she's the owner of Literature and Libation. We're partnering with her to bring more literacy, more education through books. I know she's working on mocktails and creating a sober society where now you can go out and have fun and not have to kill yourself to do it, which is beautiful. Um, right now, we're working on creating all kinds of healing events. We've done so throughout the last 5 years, throughout the 757, but this is our year to really like make a big impact. On the team now, we have an art therapist. She does color therapy and body movement. We have multiple yogis. We have multiple fitness trainers, and they're not just women because women also need to be able to learn from men. And some of my greatest mentors are men that have really instilled in me and ingrained in me how discipline looks. A lot of us come from fatherless homes, so it's something that is a need in the community. Um, and then you can always catch me on social media, Big Goddess Tribe, just about everywhere that, not LinkedIn. LinkedIn is Jara Clark because that's professional. Um, Facebook is Fit Goddess Tribe, Instagram is Fit Goddess Tribe, and YouTube is also Fit Goddess Tribe, where hopefully you'll see this interview.
I love it. I love it. So cast a vision for us as we, transition. Um, I know you talked about having a holistic wellness center, and you've got some big long-term plans. Tell us about, what you're looking forward to and how we can help.
So one is just the attendance of the event. We're collaborating with holistic practitioners and local artisans near and far that make um, all kinds of things, whether it's skincare products, whether it's dental products, whether it's jewelry. Some people are donating journals because again, it's the mind, and if you can see yourself, it can change them. If you can legit say, "Oh, I don't like myself," and then cross out "don't," and then you can see, "I like myself." Then, like a child, you can rewrite it and say, "I like myself," and now you see expression. Um, we're working on our biggest thing that we're working on is a wellness gap. So in addition to having these holistic things,